So according to YouTube, metrics and stuff like that, a successful video and a failed video only have one thing in common, and that's views. It's not always about the editing. It's not always about the special effects or, the way you clip this or the clip this. It's literally about views and value. And when I learned that, I think that changed everything for me. And here's what I mean. So when making YouTube videos, what I've kind of learned is there are people who do a lot of editing, and there are people who simply do not do a lot of editing. But when I learned that, I would see that, okay, the difference between this person's videos and this person's videos isn't necessarily the skill set. It could be the editing and the value. I've seen videos go viral that have literally no edits, and I've seen video go viral who have all the edits. And then I've seen video who have edits that don't go viral, as well as videos without edits that don't go viral. And I've literally said, well, what's the difference between a good video and a bad video? And it literally is just the views. Like, that's literally all it is. I watched a video yesterday, for example, of a guy who had 3 views on YouTube just to kind of show support and to see what he was talking about. And his content was no different than somebody I seen who had 50,000 views. It was just that he had not been discovered yet. And this leads me to my first point. The first thing is that you just have to get into the game. It's not always the highlights. It's not always the edits and the clips and all these things that keep you from being successful. It's just you being able to get in the game and stay into the game. A lot of times it's really just the showing up. People don't get in because they see these people with a lot of, views and stuff like that, and they get discouraged because they got a lot of edits. My videos don't have edits like that. My videos don't have this. Some of my favorite videos on YouTube right now are videos that don't have the edits. And sometimes I would get frustrated because I'm like, man, I'm doing the same thing as them. But then I have to understand that sometimes it's what you're talking about. And sometimes it's literally just a time thing. Like, it kind of depends on when your time is. If you're making similar content to to the videos that you like or that you want to see and different things like that, sometimes it just takes time, but you have to show up and get in the game. The second thing, or the second reason why your mind could be holding you back, is simple. It's just because you feel like because you don't have the views, you don't have value. But you cannot confuse the difference. Views do not equate to value. Sometimes in showing up, it's just really showing up and giving value over and over again. If I'm teaching a class at a university or at any type of school, for example, if I'm a new teacher or this is a new program, sometimes it might take people wanting to kind of come in and see what you're talking about to actually want to join and be a part of the program. Sometimes you got to talk about this over and over again. Sometimes you got to promote the idea over and over again. Sometimes you'll have a home run and people will be like, ooh, what is this? I want to go see it. But a lot of times when you're teaching a new program or you have a lecture or you have a speech that you want to give, people might not gravitate to it at first because they don't know you. And once you kind of start talking about topics that people want to hear, or people can see, or they hear you giving value, or they see you showing up over and over again, that changes the game for a lot of things. Just because you don't have the views does not mean that you have the value. I feel like some of my best videos are videos without the views because I know that I took time to provide the value. And this is where your mind is holding you back because you're so stuck on the views that is keeping you from creating value. All you really have to do is just show value over and over again. I've done 200 videos on this channel, and the biggest thing that I'm learning is just like, bro, like, it's just you just got to keep giving value. Even if they don't register it today, they can register it tomorrow. Even if they don't register it tomorrow, they can register the next day. But you cannot be so caught up on the views that you lose showing up, being creative, and giving value. So your mind is kind of telling you because you don't have the views that what you're doing is not valuable. And that's not true. Sometimes the biggest thing is just outlasting other people who feel the same way. And the third thing is your thoughts become actions, literally. Like, if you start to believe, hey, I'm not getting value because I'm not getting views, which I already told you the difference between a video being successful and a video not being successful is not the editing and stuff like that. It's just views and time. Like, it just takes time for your video to kind of gain traction. I've had a video literally the other day do 0 views. Like, and I'm like, this was a good video, but it literally got 0 views. Like this literally what it got. And now maybe a few days later, it's starting to outperform other videos on my channel because of the fact that I still was providing value. It just took time for people to kind of see that. And so, when your thoughts become your actions, you start to talk yourself out of something good because you believe like, man, I'm not giving enough value because I don't have the views, because I don't have the edits, and I don't have this. And literally, it's like, as you see, it's like a sloping effect. I don't have the view, I don't have the edits, which means I don't have the views, which means I don't have values, which means I don't need to make videos. And that's literally the complete opposite truth. You literally have value. You just gotta wait for the views. And because you don't have views, it doesn't always mean because your editing isn't good. Sometimes it just takes time for that thought to improve, or that idea to improve, or for you to create, continue to create. So all in all, I would say you have to just create consistently. Yes, this is what people say, but I'm not saying it for the sake of just showing up every day. I'm saying it for the sake of, as long as you find something to challenge yourself and to continue to keep you in the game and enjoy the process, the views will kind of come with it. Or you'll be able to see what ideas are better than other ideas, and you'll be able to improve. But if you think that, man, my videos aren't good enough because they don't have value, because they don't have edits, then you'll talk yourself out of making videos and you'll stop making videos. And so if you're still here, man, this is just an encouragement for you to kind of just stay in the game. Like, after making 200 videos, I'm learning that really it's just the value, and value can be subjective. You know what I'm saying? And depending on what you're speaking on or what kind of value you're providing, it might take longer people to find your video. If you're doing something that's super duper niche, it might take some people time to find your video because that might not be like an everyday topic that people talk about. If it's something that's broad, it still might take your time because it might be other people who talk about the same thing, and it just has to. They just got to find you. You know what I mean? You're literally, to me, you're swimming through a lake, a pond, ocean of hundreds of thousands of creators, and all you have to do is really just stay in the ocean long enough, and continue to grow, become a bigger fish, or whatever it is. If you're in a pond, big fish in a little pond, whatever it is, you kind of just got to continue to grow and to improve. Um, but don't let your thoughts outthink you. You control your thoughts and not the other way around. And just because you don't have views don't mean you don't have value. And just because, your videos aren't edited don't mean they aren't good. So this video probably won't be edited. So you'll see exactly what I mean. If this helps you, like, comment, subscribe. Till the next time, peace.